I'm here with John Skelley, Harry Potter himself. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, that means you're the lead.
That's right, yes.
I mean, what a big moment. I mean, you've had such a journey with this role, but now do you feel settled into leading man status on Broadway?
That's a big question. I don't know if I feel settled with it, but
Are actors ever settled?
No, I feel really grateful and really appreciative and really, I've been with the show for so long.
Yeah.
So now it's to sort of be here, I get to be home, I get to be, leading the company is of incredible actors and incredible people there, so it's really great.
So how long is it? Like an 8-year relationship now with this show?
Yeah,
Right?
I started
I mean, a
it,
pandemic happened, obviously, in the middle of all that.
Yeah, a couple years off here and there and doing
Yeah.
other things, and then, but yeah, started in 2018 understudying.
And it was already a hit at that time.
Yeah, I
came in-
got brought in. It was like I got hired the week before the Tonys.
Okay.
And my first day was the first day after the Tonys. So I was watching the Tonys from home.
Very happy place to work.
Yes, I was watching the Tonys from home because I hadn't joined the company yet. I didn't get to go to any parties, but
Right.
I was going, oh, I'm in that show. I just watched them win all these awards.
You can get into the parties now.
Yeah,
The Harry
yeah.
Potter parties, yeah.
But yeah, so started then, and then did the show in San Francisco, opened it out there before the pandemic, and then did it on tour for a year, and now I'm here. So
It's just a beautiful progress, right?
yeah,
So then what happens after that? I
don't know.
You get to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible to be a part of a show that is like such a Broadway blockbuster. We're calling it a summer blockbuster. It is like being in a Harry Potter film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the energy and the excitement of the audiences. What is it like being in the center of all that magic?
I mean, it's always amazing to, especially like that first night when you come out for the first time, and the audiences are so excited. They scream at the beginning. They scream at all of the tricks, because there's so much to, so many mentions of characters from the books and past things, and not to spoil anything, but and to hear the gasps from the audience at certain moments, and certain characters get mentioned, and all of a sudden a character you didn't expect to pop up is there. That's always so fun, and now Tom Felton's in the show, and so that creates a whole other sort of excitement around the show. So coming outside after the show to stage door and seeing all of these people lined up, and they just want to be a part of it. And I get it, because I've been a part of it for so long, and the world of Harry Potter is just magical,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just going to keep going. There's like a new TV series. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always going to be, and the books are obviously continue to be.
The books, I've been listening to the new Audible full cast audiobooks, which are really fun. I'm really enjoying them. That's been my way, because I reread the books and try to keep up with the stories and remember all of the details, because there's so many of them. And
Well, it's interesting. When you get cast in something like this, do you feel like you have to present yourself then as like a Harry Potter super fan, or can you just be an actor doing a role like this? Is it really like to interact with people at the stage door?
I feel like you do have a pressure to sort of know the trivia and things like that. I remember at one point we were doing some sort of video for something, and I called them any flavor beans instead of every flavor, and then the comments on the Instagram post were, I can't believe he didn't know
This guy's in it.
So I've careful not to do that. I think I called him Headless Nick instead of Nearly Headless Nick once. But so yeah, there is a pressure, but I also, it's also a responsibility, I think, to carry that character and to carry the stories and to really invest in the world of it. And because there's so much, I mean, what other kind of role do you have this much material to draw on?
Yeah.
Most times it's you have the play and what's said about you and what you say, and that's it. And then this, you've got 7 books of material, and so that's a gift as an actor.
And it's cool that it only exists in the theater. That's where this version is. But when you were a kid, were you going to see movies back in Eden Prairie? Were you waiting for the next Harry Potter film to come out?
I was not a Harry Potter fan growing up. I know.
Comments. Right in your comments.
But I did. I saw the movies, but I don't think I saw them as they came out. And I hadn't read the books before I got the job.
Right.
So I quickly did sped through them, and then have watched the movies now. I watch them probably once a year.
Right.
Get caught back up on them. So, yeah.
So what was that kid into? That kid in Minnesota?
He was into hockey,
Hockey.
football.
Okay.
It was like I was into sports, and then I remember I saw the High School Musical.
Music Man.
Music Man, yes. God, you really have done your research. Yeah, my freshman year of high school with my dad, we were sitting in the back row, and I just watched it, and I thought, oh, I want to be doing that. That's what So next year, I dropped out of football, and remember I went to school pictures, and some of the football players were like, Skelley, where were you, dude? You're not at
Is that
practice.
the voice?
Yeah, come on,
Minnesota.
man. Yeah,
That guy.
where were you, dude? And I said, oh, I'm doing the play.
What was it?
Well, at that time, in the summer, at my high school, they did student-written, student-directed plays, and so it was like a whole evening of short plays. So
Very experimental.
Yeah, it was.
Look at you. You started really dug in.
Yeah.
The Music Man was like a big blockbuster. You're like, oh, I'm going to go do the New Works. New Works
did the New Works,
Festival.
and then I did Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh.
I played the jester.
Oh, that's a good part.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did a
wow.
soft
So
shoe.
you started clowning.
And then I didn't really look back. That was the last year I played hockey. That was the last year I played football, and I just started doing every play I could.
Wow.
And then I went back to hockey when I was about 35, and
Really?
yeah, before, when I was off of the show, I go to Long Island City and play in a rec league.
Oh.
I play goalie, and
Okay.
my hips are not as they were when they was in high school.
Are you still balancing Broadway and hockey? Is this...
I have not played for a couple years since being reintroduced to the wand. I have let go of the goalie pads.
I don't know how far Eden Prairie is from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But did you go see Broadway tours at the Orpheum? Did you start seeing theater when you were there? Not really?
Not really. I mean, it was interesting. I didn't grow up as a theater goer. My parents weren't really into the theater. I remember going to see at the Children's Theater Company in Minneapolis. I remember seeing a couple shows there through school trips. And then, but really it was doing plays in school that kind of got me into it. I remember doing a show, first grade, it was like some, little 5-minute thing, and I just had such a good time. And there's something about just pretending and buying into it, and then having everyone else buy into the pretending of it, which it felt like magic. It was like, I went, wait, oh, this works. And then in second grade, doing a musical in front of the school, and I remember going to middle school, and my mom saying, you should maybe try doing those plays again. And
you were Leo the Lion. I
yes,
think that was
yes, in second grade.
blockbusters.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I asked the teacher if I could have a solo. So I thought, well, it makes sense that I would be singing this alone. And she went, okay, sure. So it was doing plays that kind of made me fall in love with it. And then I went to the University of Minnesota Guthrie Theater program for my BFA. And
tell me about that program, because you became part of the fabric of the Guthrie for many years.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to learn, and we would have Mondays. Every Monday we'd go to the Guthrie and either meet with an artist there or have a master class some sort, and then have all the rest of our classes at school. But also free tickets to all the shows, so you're just seeing everything you can. And that was I remember my callback weekend. I think was the first time I had seen a show at the Guthrie, even though I grew up not very far from it. And that was a revelation too. And then after graduating, I stayed there for about 7 years and worked and kind of.
You did all kinds of shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you really got to your resume at the Guthrie is wild.
I felt I'm really lucky to have been able to get to do Importance of Being Earnest, and then Long Day's Journey into Night.
Where's Charlie?
Well, we did the original, not Where's we didn't do the musical version, but we did Charlie's Aunt, the play, which is what an old chestnut, and to kind of mind that script and to look at it, because there were these random stage directions and you go, what does this mean? I said, let's just try it. And then the audience, all of a sudden, they start laughing, and you're going, I guess it works. So, yeah.
Is there a big clowning comedy in your future? I mean, obviously at Harry Potter, we don't get to see all of that side of you, but you've done a lot of funny things.
I love doing comedy. I would love to do more comedy. Yeah, that would absolutely be on the top of my list to do next. Yeah.
You also got cast in A Christmas Carol, probably the most memorable production ever because you ended up meeting your wife, Marin. Right? So
Yes.
talk about that. The showmance, you were in the show together?
It was a little bit of a showmance.
Christmas magic
It was,
time of
yes.
year?
As she likes to say, she carried a brazier onto the stage, and she said, "Oh, he liked the way I carried that brazier." And you know, I liked her. She had her little Christmas Carol hat on, and the
Period costumes.
yes, all of that,
Okay.
and
That's
but
what locked you in.
I guess it was, yeah. I was
bonnet.
backstage, and I would ask around, does Marin, is she dating anyone? And they said no, um, so I got up the courage to ask her out backstage during a performance. I think Christmas Present was walking by us, so I said, "Excuse me, would you walk by? Do you want to have it?" She said, "What?" I said, "Do you want to get coffee sometime?" She said, "Yeah," and I said, "Okay."
That was it. That was the moment.
Yeah, and then she went, the nodding game. And I said, yes. And I said, well, I have to go to my entrance now. And I walked away, and I went up to the stage manager, and I shook her hand. I saw the props person, I gave him a kiss, and I walked to the entrance, and I'm standing there, and I still have like 5 minutes before my entrance. I was just too nervous to talk anymore. And then I'm standing there, and I realized I didn't set a date, I didn't set a time. I'm gonna have to ask her out all over again. This is terrible. So, yeah. But we had our first date the day after we opened that show, and that was 2008.
Wow.
So
Wow,
yeah, been together ever
that's
since.
lovely. And now you're in the show together,
Yeah.
and she actually covers the role of your wife, Jenny, and she's gone on like this year and I think she went for like a whole week recently, right?
Yeah, she's had a couple shows here and there. You know,
What's that like? Is that amazing?
It's amazing. And then she gets to. Because Ginny's suffers no fools, so she gets to yell at me a little bit in the show, and which is great. And it's a dream come true, and it's unbelievable. I mean, to think back when I started this journey 8 years ago, and to think that I would not only be here playing the role on Broadway, but then Marin's in the show, and we've gotten to travel the country doing it together, and it's. What else could you ever ask for? I mean, it's crazy.
Love it.
Yeah.
How sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Broadway love story. Are there other shows you like to do together? Are there like?
I mean, this is our first time working together in theater since we met. Yeah.
Since that magical moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is, but yeah, we'd love to do things together. Do a little Private Lives or something.
Private Lives.
Yes.
I just want to get one on the record.
Private Lives. Yes. Yeah.
Private Lives.
A little North.
There had to be something in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love it. How amazing. Well, how long are you going to be Harry Potter? How long do you feel like this guy you could live with this guy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't feel any signs of slowing down yet. It feels like it's such a. I've said this before, but it seems kind of hokey, but it's true. I think this part, the only part I've done that's like it is Hamlet, actually, because it has everything. It's got the drama. It's got this high stakes, this like huge world that feels bigger than us, but also there's these intimate scenes, and it's about fathers and sons, and it's about real characters. And we get to duel, there's some fighting, there's some stunts, there's magic, there's comedy, there's drama. It has every little kind of thing that you'd want to do as an actor kind of within this 3-hour, marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of fathers, I do want to ask you about Shelby.
Yes.
Is Shelby named after Drink the Juice Shelby, Steel Magnolias? It's your dog.
Yeah,
Shelby.
she's not named after. Well, she could be. We got her in San Francisco at the shelter.
Oh.
Marin was not in the show at that point, so she was volunteering at the SPCA, which is across the street from where we lived in San Francisco. Which, when she started volunteering, it was like, all right, we're gonna get a dog. It's just a matter of time. And she would walk dogs, and she would kind of bring them by the apartment, and then I got a text one day, and she said, I think I have a candidate. And I walked down, and Shelby was her name at the shelter, and she ran in and sat on my lap, and poor thing was skin and bones and had ticks and all this, and they got her cleaned up, and we adopted her like a week later, and yeah.
How sweet.
So
I love it.
Yeah, she's a California dog, and now she's a road dog. She's been all over the country on tour, and now she's Broadway dog. So
You're all on an adventure together.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming in, John. So nice to meet you.
yeah, it's nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.